Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about the box office missing the mark again, right? This seems to be an ongoing pattern with people calling the box office projections and then the movies perform much, much lower than
More so than the other way, yes.
Yeah, it has worked the other way, but more often than not, especially in the last year or two, we've seen them call the projections for movies and they've been like way off. We had Joker 2. That was a huge one where they really missed the mark. Transformers 1. That was another one where they missed the mark. And now we have Venom 3. And Venom 3 was supposed to make, let's see here, 70 million. Some places were saying 75 million. This movie is going to do gangbusters, which I didn't see it. Nobody I know of really cares one way or the other about this movie coming out. But it was just 2 weeks ago. Oh, $70 million. Now they're like, yeah, it'll be lucky if it breaks 50.
No, I mean, it's also only Saturday. We don't know, that could change.
No, but it's definitely... Again, it's not just to attack Venom 3, right? Which looks like just another Venom movie, and it's got the same Rotten Tomatoes 30-something%, but then the audiences seem to like it, right? This isn't a video about the quality of the movie. It's a video about how people calling these box office numbers are more often than not wrong. And I'm like, is this a marketing tactic by the studio? Like, you don't want to miss out. The movie's
FOMO.
gonna be FOMO. Oh my God, Joker's gonna make $70 million.
That's not the one I was like, there's no way in hell.
No.
I saw the trailer and I was like, hell no. There's no way.
And we'll talk about this because they're claiming. Now I do not know, but they are claiming that Wicked is going to break $1 billion.
I could be wrong.
Office.
I don't see it.
It's going to, apparently Wicked is going to make 100 to 125 million opening weekend.
Well, I know a lot of people were mad and not going to go see it because of the one actress claiming that she was unpersoned or whatever because a fan made a fan edit to make it look like the Wicked poster.
That might have cost them many millions of dollars.
But
I'm going to be honest. That was her temper tantrum.
That was really uncalled for. And there's other interviews that have come out that she looks like an entitled twit. But that's a whole other story.
Well, Ariana Grande too.
Say,
she had the thing with Elvira and recently and all that. And they both look like they
both come across as being,
prima donnas.
So I just don't think, I could be wrong, but I don't think Wicked is one that I think was going to be super duper popular to the level they're saying anyway. And then you brought up, it's like only a week before Moana 2.
Yeah, I think
Moana 2 is probably going to kick Wicked's ass.
Yeah, I think the audience for Wicked is shared with Moana 2. And I do think Moana 2 is probably going to do better. I
think also because Wicked's going to be in 2 parts, I think that's going to put some people off too, and they're just going to wait to watch it all at once, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
let's talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, get woohoo if you do.
Woohoo.
So just a couple of days ago, they were like, Venom's going to make $70 million. Remember when The Flash was supposed to do like $100 million opening weekend? And, and that didn't happen. I think it's wishful thinking.
Well, the Joker, I was not surprised by at all. As soon as I heard the premise for it, I was like, this is going to suck. And then I saw the trailer. I'm like, oh, hell no, this is going to totally not do well.
I honestly thought it would do better opening weekend, but the word of mouth got out there pretty early, and people.
I think the trailer got out there, and people were like, "Oh hell no!"
The trailer did not look interesting at all. This one really didn't either. The horse part was kind of funny, but it's like, whatever. It's another Venom movie. They're okay. They're okay. I like the first one. The second one was okay. I honestly forgot this was happening. Except every other movie we go to, they've been running the trailer.
Yeah,
So Joe Blow has it. Box office update. Venom 3 is going to open below expectations. It's still going to be number 1, but it's not going to do great. They said there hasn't been a huge hit since Beetlejuice 2, which is still in theaters, and it's out on digital.
Mm-hmm.
And it was
people are still going.
People are still going to it. It actually beat out, talking about Transformers 1. It beat out Transformers 1.
Which you got to watch that, by the way.
I do. It's on people said it was pretty good. Multiple people said it's good.
He still hasn't gotten to watch it yet.
I need to watch it.
We've been really busy.
They said Hollywood's hopes that Venom: The Last Dance will be a blockbuster aren't amounting to much. According to Deadline, the superhero threequel is set to open in the low $50 million range after a $20 million Friday. That's
It's only Saturday. That could change.
It could
to be fair.
Depends on the word of mouth.
Yeah, that's where it's going to matter. Yes.
That's below more optimistic box office projections, but pretty much right in line with the 50 they predicted. No, everybody else was like, I was going to do $75 million. It's going to be a huge hit. They said, what's going on with Venom's box office? They said one thing studios may need to fess up to is that superhero fatigue is real.
I agree.
The massive success of Deadpool and Wolverine notwithstanding, and we told people, we said, this is going to be, Deadpool and Wolverine is going to be a one-off. Because people wanted this team up for years. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of a throwback to better days of fan-pleasing movies.
But it did way better than,
That one overperformed.
Yeah, that was anybody expected, which, it deserved to. But yeah.
Yeah. They said studios have flooded the market with too many bad or mediocre superhero movies.
Yes.
Yep.
Especially
Audiences
DC.
are no longer flocking. Yeah, especially DC. Flocking to them like they used to. Much is riding on the fate of Marvel's next phase of films, as well as James Gunn's Superman. The genre seems tired. Younger audiences seem to be sparking less to them nowadays. Mm-hmm. Well, just realize, like, the kids that grew up watching Marvel, they'd be like our kids' age, right? They're aging out of it. Like, they're buying Tony Stark action figures. I think it
gets too much, and you're just like, especially when you throw in like Disney Plus and all that. I just think that they're just starting to be like, I don't care anymore. Too much.
Yeah, it's too much, and I just think, I think that people are kind of over it in general because, movies cycle, right? I mean, we had a time when it was all musicals, and then we had a time when it was all cowboys, and then we had a time when it was all,
I think also how much does these superhero movies cost, which is another issue we brought up too before, is they're very, very expensive to do in comparison to some of these indie films that are something new, or even if they're IP based, but it's not like the same old, and they have to get creative and they have a much smaller budget. So they actually profit with a smaller box office, where you need like a huge box office for these to be profitable. And it's not really, worth it. People are just over it. It's not worth it for the studios. I think they need to get more creative with their budgets and with the way they're filming things, maybe do more independent stuff, things like that.
Yeah, they even said perhaps it's time for studios to think outside the box, revisit genres they've all but abandoned, such as mid-level action movies, comedies, thrillers, all which used to be bread and butter. People forget, like, we talk a lot about the 80s and 90s. And we had these great, like, tentpole special effects movies. You had your Star Wars and your Ghostbusters and your Men in Black and whatever. But in between those big tentpole movies, we had metric shit tons of smaller, low-budget movies. And some of them became cult classics.
Yeah.
But, like, in the 80s, I'm thinking back, like, God, so many of these movies have been forgotten. But, like, every week there were, like, all kinds of
Yeah, but not
movies.
to the level it is now. Now there's just too much because you have all the streaming, too. And it's like, why go to the movie theater? I can go to the streaming network and watch a better film. You know what I mean? Or what I liked.
Well, back then, too, they were also kind of working in tandem with the home video market. So, like, if a movie struck out, it was kind of like, Vudu or whatever now, or Fandango, whatever the hell we call it. But, like, if it would strike out in the theater, they're like, well, it can still make some money on VHS or DVD. And we had some movies that were kind of designed for that. Like, yeah, we'll drop it in the theater, but, like, we don't expect it to do that well. And there were some movies that did really, really well in home video. Nightmare Before Christmas is a great example of that.
Right. But now people are just going to go digital or just wait until it's on a streaming service because we know, like, if we wait a couple months, Disney's going to put it on the streaming service. Peacock's going to put it on the streaming service. Max is going to put it on the streaming service. That kind of thing. And they'll just wait. Yeah,
and that's just it. Everybody can wait, and everything is available to you for the most part. Like, everything is available. There is no, like, limited time. Like, back in the day, you'd have to catch it on HBO, and they would only run a movie on HBO so many times, and it would just kind of disappear. And you'd have to catch it in the theater, or you'd catch it on broadcast TV, and then you'd have to go rent the video. If you could get it, if it wasn't rented, I mean, if you're lucky, if it was new release, they might have, like, 3 or 4 copies of it. But you'd have to, return that tape. So everything was like, now it's like every damn thing you can think of exists on a server pretty much forever until they decide to get rid of it. And it's almost overwhelming. I mean, it really is. There's so much out there. So Screen Rant thinks, and I could be wrong on this one. I don't give a shit about Wicked. But they think it's going to make $1 billion.
I just don't see it, but I could be wrong too.
I don't.
I mean, I know it has quite an audience, but I just don't think it's the audience I think it is. And I think also it's going to start out maybe doing well, but then it's going to go up against Moana 2.
So they said so yeah, that's the thing. Moana 2 is going to definitely eat into it. On October 10th, Fandango. Okay, so this is miscellaneous. This has happened before, but remember the Marvels had like record pre-sales and shit too. Fandango announced that the Wizard of Oz prequel hit some major milestones and ticket pre-sales on its first day. In addition to having the third best first day pre-sales of all time for a PG movie, it earned the best first day PG pre-sales of the year so far.
Of this year so far. Again, that's not a big selling point there. It's not like a big win. Besting Inside Out 2. But Inside Out 2 didn't start out strong. Inside Out 2 did okay, but then word of mouth, Inside Out 2 kicked ass.
They're like, hey guys, Inside Out 2, yeah, it's old school Pixar.
Yeah, and then after people found that out, it just went through the roof. By the second week of this one, you're going to have Moana 2.
So I'm like, this is going to be PG. So I'm assuming they're cutting some of the stuff from the book out of this, because I've heard some of the plot points in the book, and I'm like, the book's pretty spicy. So I don't think they're going to go there. I don't know. They said it's going to have one of the biggest box office opening weekends now. They were thinking Cats was going to make big bucks too.
Yeah, well,
I mean, this one
might have done better if they didn't take out the CGI buttholes. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, I literally don't know. I do know that I believe the controversy with both of the lead actresses is absolutely going to hurt it, because there are people that were like, we're huge fans of the play, we're not going to go see it now because what the hell. And I think a lot of people in this case, since Wicked is a Broadway thing and it's got this really diehard audience, I think that they all book their tickets like as soon as they heard the movie was coming out. And you're going to get your diehards like that first weekend. And it depends on how the movie is. If the movie sucks, it's going to, Moana 2 is going to come in and just completely destroy it. But I have no idea. But $1 billion for Wicked? I don't know.
I think that's pushing it. But we could be wrong.
We're just leave a pin. We'll come back to this. Maybe it will. We'll come back to it. But I'm just, all these projections now, I don't believe them. I really don't believe them, because we've seen so many upsets. It's like, it's somebody's job to come up with these projections, and you cannot predict where things are going to go in Hollywood right now.
I predict this video will get 1 million views. It won't.
Clownfish
FOMO, guys.
Again.
FOMO, you have to go watch it.
You have to go watch it, bitches. All right, we're going to wrap this up.
Yeah.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.
Join the reef. Go to clownfish-.com. That's clownfish-.com. You will get exclusive access to podcasts and videos and comic strips and more, as well as merch discounts. Check it out. If you were a member, you could get this t-shirt, this dismal t-shirt on our website. You'd get a 10% discount on that. You can also join in the community on clownfish-.com. Thank you so much for the support.